All right, let's see how this is working out. I think y'all can hear me okay. Not that there's anyone watching, but you never know. All right, so anyway, what's happening here is I am just trying to keep an eye on what's happening with browsers, etc. And what's happened today is that Dia has dropped. Dia is from Arc. Now, if you don't know Arc, I don't know what rock you've been living under. Let me see if I can grab a window here. So this is Shaky Cam Arc. There we go. It is a wonderful browser. Let's go to Arc browser. You know, Arc is the browser that started pioneering using left-hand sidebars. So you could have sidebars with your sidebars. But yeah, it's from a company called Browser Company, I believe. I've always been a fan of what Arc is doing because they actually build browsers with an eye for how is a human going to use this. Which I can't say that many browsers have been doing that. And I love all of the people who build browsers like Firefox and Chrome and Edge. But I gotta be honest, I've worked on some of these myself. I worked on Edge. I worked with the Mozilla crew. They're really cool. But one of the challenges is that these are products, but they're typically not products for users, with the exception of Firefox, which is a user product, but because of the nature of the Mozilla Foundation, it's not run like a company. It's weird. You kind of have to run like a business building a product for consumers to consume to make great user experiences. But one of the challenges with Edge and Chrome is that Microsoft and Google's business with this free software that they create, they're not making money off of the software. They're making money off of the Bing searches that you are making because you use that browser and it's the default search engine, or the advertising placements they can do better because, you know, they own a big advertising network like with Google. So in both of these cases, the end product is not the browser. The thing that's being sold isn't the browser. It's you. It's you, your eyeballs, your attention. And so that's one of the things that I always slate browser vendors with, is that their ultimate customer isn't you. Their ultimate customer is someone who's paying them, whether it's the foundation model or it's, an advertiser. So what I love about Arc is that it is a browser designed for real human beings. I absolutely love it. Look at this. You can go ahead and download it at arc.net right now. But one thing that people have noticed is that Arc has been pivoting as of late. They've been pivoting to something called a Dia. And Dia, what happened was that basically the browser company founder was like, oh my God, looking at AI, this is going to be the thing that's going to replace browsers. We've got to come up with a way to pivot. Also, Arc really only took off with like weird tech people like myself. And they were kind of going for mass adoption. So if you know what I mean, that's kind of, could be better. So today we're going to take a look at Dia. You ready? Because it turns out if you have Arc, you automatically get to download the Dia. And if you go to my site, nearestneighbors.com, I know it's a little convoluted, and you go over to my Blue Sky or my Twitter or whatever, you will see that I just posted the link to it. Oh my goodness, pardon me. Go to diabrowser.com/download. And then you hit the downloady bit, and I believe I've already downloaded it. Hopefully there's nothing too incriminating in here. Come on, open it up. Open it up. There we go. And we are going to do it. We're going to do the first look today. so this should pop it open. There we go. Yeah, I totally want to install something I got off the internet. I trust it. Oh my lord. Wow. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my god. Ah. Wow, I did not know that you could take over my screen like that. I don't think anyone's done an intro so beautifully like that in any of the software I've ever installed. They really get to light down. Like their chief designer is here in London, and I keep being like, please hang out with me. Let's be friends. Anyway, I'm a big fan. This is so cool. All right. The AI browser that lets you chat, write, learn, and shop with your tabs. I'm not sure if I would have framed it like that with your tabs. Like, a little creepy. Okay, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Maybe it gets better. I am recording this. I'll probably send it to them. Nobody watches like my Twitch stream. It's fine. I just basically do this so that I can kind of capture first looks at new products. And, you know, it's fun. Anyway, I'm finishing my morning tea. Let's go through it. All right. Write with a copy editor in every text box. Okay, Chrome's got some features coming out in their APIs that will do that. Learn with a tutor in every tab. Okay. Shop with a retail concierge wherever you browse. I don't think most people shopping on the internet know what a concierge is. Okay. I'm just saying that. Like, that's a fancy ass term that I don't think anybody where I grew up would understand what a concierge does. Like maybe a shopper or, oh my God. Like, what's it gonna do? Is it gonna give you free coupons? Is it gonna basically replace honey? Is it gonna do your shopping for you? A lot of people shop because it's pleasant. It's not seen as a task. Okay, anyway. It's an interesting value prop, write, learn, shop. Is that what people are doing when they're on the browser? Not seeing a lot in here about entertainment, but let's go on. Or helping you do your taxes, or pay your utilities, or look up your health concerns. I think it's interesting that these are the things that people keep coalescing around, even though I think I have an account. Why?
2,000 years later.
Perhaps it is different from ARC sign up. Let's find out. You know what? I was genuinely assuming I'd be able to sign in with my ARC account. That is weird, isn't it? It probably should be something in there like if you have an ARC account, you'll need to make a new one already. I know. This is probably like the most boring video ever, but it's pretty handy. Okay, got the code. Yeah, I would like you to copy over my... Yep, import my essentials. You got it. Huh. Huh. There we go. It's just gonna ask for a lot of things. Okay, import extensions. Wow, I have a lot of extensions apparently. Well, we want send to Kindle.
It's time to eat.
That was my reminder that I need to go eat food. I'm gonna say save to Notion as well. I like that. And the Notion web clipper. There's a lot of stuff I just don't need in here. All right, let's go. I really need to clean out my extensions. I like the little rainbow advancy bar here. All right. See, flare. Can I just choose my own color? It's not gonna let me. Fine. Personal intelligence. Okay, Grammarly. I love that you're there for me through all of this, but I'm gonna turn you off. No, no, I'm gonna quit you entirely from this. Here we go. All right, personal intelligence. Dia is there to assist you on any tab wherever you browse. Teach Dia your standards, quirks, and preferences to make it truly tailored tool for you. You can update this at any time. Okay. Voice to respond in. Oh, gosh. Maybe you could have it respond like Theo. Okay. How to write in my preferred style. How to answer code questions. Assume I have a background in React 18. And understand JavaScript, but am new to TypeScript and Python. There we go. How do you like to learn things? How I like to learn things. I'm a law student. How do you like to learn things? Let's see. I like to learn by doing things myself. If there's a challenge or quiz that can make something stick, give it to me. I like a TLDR for long passages, and bullets for conciseness. Metaphor is welcome. All right. How to write in your preferred style. I could see how I might hit this button thinking I'm saving. It's not really clear that when you're done writing, it's going to save things. So what voice to respond in? Friendly, but let's see. Okay, who do I really love learning from? I love learning from Cassidy, but I most appreciate the straightforwardness of Renee Brandel. Not Renee. Oh my God. Brené Brown. I'm sorry, I was thinking of someone I used to work with. Be direct, and it's okay to be critical. All right. How to write in your preferred style. I've written a lot online as Rachel Neighbors. I am direct too much, so it would be good to soften my words a little to accommodate neurotypicals. All right, I think I got it all. Let's go. When it comes to privacy, you're in control. We believe it's up to you to customize what you see and what you share. Dia exists to make the internet better, not profit off your personal data. That's good. How exactly does Dia make money then? That would be my next question. Any content data you choose to share with Dia, like websites you visit, questions you ask, will never be tied to your account, will be deleted after 30 days. That's great to know. Do I want to block third-party ads and trackers? Won't see them, they won't see you. Help improve Dia by sharing content data. You know what? Why not? Normally I don't turn off trackers, but at this point, it's starting to feel less comfortable with that. All right, make it your default. Let me try it out for a week. I like that offer. I want to change your default. Keeping ARC. I loves ARC. My new home on the internet. Wow. Bam. Look at that.
Directly on any page. You can mention tabs in any query to bring in instant context. And you get built-in skills.
Oh, these headphones.
That make writing, coding, and anything else you dream up a breeze. No complicated prompts, no copying and pasting. Just tell Dia what you need, right where you're already working. Let's dive in. First up, chat on any page. Whenever you need help, whether you're reading an article, watching a YouTube video, or writing, just click on the chat button in the right-hand corner or hit Command E, and Dia's sidebar will open instantly, ready to answer in-context questions or help you write or brainstorm ideas. For example, if you're watching a long YouTube video, you can ask Dia to break it down into a summary with timestamps. If you're reading a dense article, you can clarify concepts as you're reading, or even highlight a phrase to get something specific answered. Next up, mentioning tabs. Dia already knows the context of your current page, but you can also bring in any other page you have open, have visited in the past, or that's bookmarked. Let's see an example. Let's say you're replying to an email and you want to share your availability. You can open up chat and just @mention your calendar and use that context to reply. Or if you want to collect insights across multiple tabs, just mention those tabs and Dia will combine the information for you. Now let's talk about skills and how to make them your own. With Dia, you get built-in skills that make writing and coding more effortless. The Write skill acts as your personal writing assistant wherever you're already working. For example, let's go back to email. Let's say I want Dia to help me reply. Dia can draft your response for you. No prompting, no copy-pasting, just done. And you can even insert it wherever your cursor is. This is actually a built-in Dia skill, and it's one of a few we have in the works. You can personalize this and other skills. You can do that by going to a new tab, hitting the Personalize button in the top right corner, and set your preferences for how you write. For example, concise, casual, bullet points, whatever your style is. And you can always go back and edit this later. If you want even more control, you can create your own custom skills tailored to the way you work. For example, I created this custom skill called Morning with some things I like to start my day with. And I can prompt this by hitting Command T and typing /morning, and Dia will execute that prompt every day. Dia also supports importing from your previous browser, which includes bookmarks, history, and passwords, managing profiles, and using extensions and bookmarks.
So
all of that can be accessed.
Yeah, okay. One of the things I'm immediately realizing is gonna make this not worthy for the everyman is this is still a chat interface. And I know chat has, I'm gonna hit play. I thought we had more to go, or I wouldn't have interrupted. But I can't help but notice, like, you have to set settings for hot words and commands. That's something programmers like to do. I have never, like, I'm thinking about, like, my niece who rarely responds to me on Messenger because she's doing, trying to get digital ads off. She's younger than I am. She wouldn't go through any of this. She's a young person and she has limited fucks to give about, setting up a morning routine or anything. That's some type A stuff. Type A people are going to set up a morning routine. They probably also believe in the para method and have like a Notion, and they keep everything very organized. They make their partner rewash dishes when they're a little grimy, that sort of thing. This looks great for people who are comfortable using a terminal. And the original Arc struggled to get away from that audience. I think Dia is going to struggle to get away from that audience too, because this to me feels like Cursor, but for browsers. And saying Cursor but for browsers sucks. Because Cursor's not an everyman tool. Cursor's a power tool. Despite what people say about vibe coding, Cursor's a power tool. The Cursor, if you don't know what it is, it's a smart IDE. That's what I call them. They call them AI-powered coding editors. Fuck it. It's a smart IDE. We should bring back using the word smart because I hate tacking AI onto everything. So, and I'm not going to call Dia anything AI either. It's, it's a smart browser. Let's finish the video. I'll bring out my other thoughts later.
Accessed through the Mac menu bar. So take a few minutes to make Dia truly yours. That's Dia in action. Happy browsing.
Okay. Well, you can see what kind of a nerd I am here. Great, I've outed myself as a complete nerd. We're not going to watch videos together. I'm tempted to, though. Especially this one, that song in every musical that no one likes by Sarah Smallwood. It's fire, as the youngsters say. Anyway. Okay, hey Juice, it's so good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I love having you here, man. So let's give it a minute. Let's ask it this. How is it different from Chrome and ChatGPT? I think the better question is, how is it different from Perplexity or Strawberry Browser? Strawberry Browser is another what I call Borg browsers. Borg browsers because, well, oh my God. No, this is too much. Oh God. Look, it's even got a, gave me a TLDR and a section called Metaphor. No. Okay. How is Dia different from Perplexity? Short answer. What I don't like is that I'm having to communicate with it through typing. Most people don't type. Have you watched teenagers text? That's why we got lulspeak. Because people don't have the time to be like beep, 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 beep all the time. Like, it's thought flows faster than fingers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, Juiced. I do agree. Cursor does need built-in audio input. I actually turned on, if you go to Mac in settings, system settings, there's an accessibility feature that you can use that I'm a big fan of. But it's like you can turn on speech. Yeah, there we go. In accessibility. Anyway, the point is that there is a thing here that you can use. Voice control is one of them. But there's a thing that will, on your user system, you can like double tap control and you can speak, and it will, kind of like on Android when you use the voice input, it will start converting to words. I have started using that for a lot of these chat-based inputs because I'm a fast typer, but even I'm just like, God, no. Free my hands. I used to be able to Command C this stuff, and now you're like, allow me to express with a very well thought out prompt. Oh my God. Yeah, people want shortcuts. They do not have time to be like, dear, I appreciate what you do for me so much. All right. What is Super Whisper, by the way? Just says that he's installed Super Whisper, but he forgets that it exists. I'm assuming it's some sort of a speech to text thing. Is it for Macs, Linux, what? Okay. All right. Back to Dia. Pardon me. Itchy nose. We've got some allergies happening here in London today. What did it say? Oh, this is not a short answer. This is shorter. Dia is like having a super smart assistant sitting next to you as you browse, while perplexity is like texting a librarian who fetches answers from the internet. You know, that was all you needed to tell me. That was wow. That was a lot of energy to spend, Dia. Okay. I really only needed the metaphor portion of your reply to understand. Can you be less verbose for short to start, and we can get deeper as I ask you more for more information. Oh my god. And I didn't put a question mark on it, so it's a command. I see. So Super Whisper is a code-aware speech thing. Interesting. You'll have to check that out. Okay. I wish I could just I guess I could do this. There we go. Initial answers were way too verbose. Yeah, I did not need a fucking web page in response. Sorry, I should not swear so much. I'm having some fun though. That's how you know I'm having fun. Let's go do some other stuff. Okay, well, it did copy over my different profiles. I got my code mode, my agent QL agent. Okay, yeah. I have a couple of different things. Let's see. They're like, hey, they added code mode. Why? You want to create something for the everyman. Why are you adding code in here? Why would you do that? I know this is a problem for Arc browser, was that it became too niche with just early adopters who are coders. But that I think is a common product problem that we make over in tech, is that we assume, well, if it takes off with my buddies, that only counts if you're making a developer tool. You want Cursor to take off with coders. You want Clerk to take off with coders. You want React to take off with coders. You want Flutter to take off with coders. You don't need a browser to take off with coders. You need a browser to take off with the biggest influencers in the world, which is young women, if we're quite honest. They make most of the purchasing decisions. They are the when they grow up, they make most of the purchasing decisions for the household. When they're kids, they are trendsetters and leaders in thought amongst their peers. They're the first people who picked up MySpace, then Facebook. You got to get in with them. So, what's a teenage girl gonna think when they come in and they're like, mention tabs, right, and code? Why are you even spending time on these features? I don't know. I know, I'm being harsh. I'll probably take this and send it to them and ask them, how can we remove my recovery secret and change it so that I can keep my account secure? All right, explain and fix the bug. Okay, let's see what it's gonna do. This is cool, but this is not for people. Why would you have this? This is... I have Cursor for this, and I have Claude for this. Why would I want to use Dia for this? Why would you spend money on these features? It's like boiling the ocean. There's other startups that are doing that. Alright, should I buy tumblers? Tumblers? Oh, they're bottles. Okay, yeah, but I would have used Stanley cups for this. Honestly, tumblers? Stanley cups. Yeah, whatever it is that people are comparing right now. God, that's a lot. Did they put metaphor in here? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's a good example. I didn't realize that this was for shopping. It said at mention tabs. And I'm not sure how this is a demonstration of mentioning tabs because neither of these tabs are actually open. All right. Okay, right. Write a press release for this in the style of Amazon launches. Once again, this stuff only coders care about. I suppose they're anticipating that their first users are going to be coders, but I really don't think that's the kind of feedback you want. Like, you're going to get a lot of feedback on, like, was this a good press release? La la la. And coders are weirdos, okay? Like, we're a minority in the world. We are not trendsetters. Most of us are autistic, and most of the world out there is holistic thanks to the Industrial Revolution, exerting evolutionary pressure for people who like to be in crowded places, hypersocial, and can do one task over and over again. Yeah, so like this is probably not gonna get the feedback you need from a person like that. I mean, it's nice. It's like it shows how it can remix, write a press release for this set of code changes. I suppose that's what this is. When I click on these, they don't open. That's something I would expect to happen. And there's this, let's see what this speak to type. Hey, they got speak to type. Let's try it out. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, no. Excuse me a minute. This is tough. I'm using a Wacom tablet, but I have no ability. I have no mouse, and it's kind of being a dick. That's problems. Now, this is something for the developers of Mac that they should really work on here. Okay. I'm going to open up this. Just give me a minute. We're about to jank the system. Okay. All right. I would like you to merge these two documents into one. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. That's interesting. It completely, it took a different step with that. Okay. I don't think it understood what to do. Okay. Let's see what happens. What's the new tab look like? Okay, so it's just this. Oh. Oh. No. No. Where's my sidebar? They're doing the top thing again. No. Excuse me a minute. I'm just going to be very salty about all of this. I do not like. Where's my sidebar? Go into settings. Where's my sidebar? Nope. Default browser. That's a lie. Privacy. Profiles. Advanced. Early access. Improved chat with browsing context. Yeah, okay. We're into that. Okay. But there's no way. Okay, we're going to have to assume that they're going to add that. But it's not a priority right now. That's okay. I get that. Anyway, so the code part, not into it. Write, mention tabs needs a better example. Write needs a better example. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. All right. We're going to ask a question about this page. This is back when I worked with Agent QL, this was my like litmus test. Extract all the social links on this page. Let's see what it can do. Oh, no. Okay, it's given me like a pile of JavaScript to console log them. No, that's fine. Could could you just list out the URLs and platforms? Okay, there we go. That's better. Double X. That's interesting. XX. I don't think that's what we called it, but okay, that's pretty good. It's doing all right. Okay. Lovely. Can you tell me if this person is a cartoonist or an engineer? Oh my god, it's doing it again. It's like, do you want it to be able to find devices on local networks? That is a interesting question to be asking me. Now, how do I... There we go. No, not on networks. Okay, didn't get that right because fun. Tell me if Rachel Neighbors is a cartoonist or an engineer. Okay. All right. And they're adding a quick challenge. Let's edit these settings. How do I like to learn new things? Be concise. Long. Use a TLDR if an explanation is over 2 paragraphs. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I think that the personalization setting is actually kind of trash. I'm so sorry. But it is not what I wanted, I think I wanted something a little different from that experience. All right, let's continue. So when I mentioned Borg browsers, this is what I'm talking about. Everybody right now is trying to build an intelligent browser. And what they're doing is they're strapping, in all cases, they seem to be strapping chat onto the browser. Yeah. So, and then we've got things like Retriever, which is an extension that you add to Chrome, install extension. So we've got Strawberry Browser and we've got Retriever, and I'm going to actually say, all right, compare to Dia. There we go. Let's go for it. These are all part of the Borg browser. All right. Retriever and Strawberry emphasize automation and workflow customization. It's true. Strawberry browser is emphasizing automation and workflow customization. And, oh, hi, La La Land. I really need AI to do my spreadsheets. Yeah, Retriever is really good at doing AI on spreadsheets. I currently use Zapier. I use Zapier to do a lot of stuff with my spreadsheets. But if you are thinking of doing automation and you are actively using spreadsheets in a browser, it has to be in a browser, you should check out Retriever. I met the founder of this. It's like 2 youngsters in the Bay Area. And they move fast, so if you need something, they'll probably jump right on it. Anyway, Retriever's pretty cool. And welcome to the chat. I hope you're having a good time. Juice says he needs AI to analyze his workday and tell me what to use AI for. What's Workday? I don't use Workday. I've used Asana. I've used Linear. I don't know what Workday is. It sounds like another one of those things that promises to make you more productive, but really just kind of causes you to trip all over yourself as you try to adjust to someone else's working style. Workday is a big software, HR software thing. Oh no, Juiced was saying he was talking about his actual workday. Juiced, how would an AI analyze your workday? Would they be going over your calendar, your emails, your Slack communications? Like, what all would they have to rope in to give you an overview at the start of your day? Yeah, Monday through Sundays. A small drone flying behind him. Well, short of that, assuming we don't have access to a parent state drone keeping tabs on you, I'm just curious about it. All right, so let's try something else. Let's see. I'm going to be really creepy here. Let's see if I can get to my calendar. Oh, I know. Ooh, spooky, spooky. Let me just sign in. All right. What? I'm going to give it my secret email. And you guys can't know. An email so old and embarrassing, it is known only to my most die-hard of fans who remember me from my cartooning days. Okay, here we go. Summarize what I have to do today in meetings. I'm showing you everything. I'm gonna let that happen. All right, okay, let's see what it got. Oh, I don't have anything to hide. All right, 6 meetings. Oh my God. I got an interview, a research paper thing, which conflicts with a friend's call that I've got to do. I really want to do the research paper thing. Yep. Not bad. You know, that's not too bad. I could see creating something in this where I'm like every morning, give me a summary of the things that I'm doing. But one of the challenges with this is to do that, you really have to buy into the browser is my new home. And you have to invest, well, you know, it's not quite a browser, is my new home. And to do that, you kind of have to invest a lot into Dia. Let's see. Settings. Okay, where was it that we had the ability to add, oh man, some prompts. I also don't like that I have to prompt it by being like / whatever my command is, because wait, what's this? Yeah, okay. Hang on a minute. We are gonna go center 2/3. Thank you. There we go. All right. How do I set up some custom commands in Dia? All right, checking in on the chat. HR for question. Privacy-wise, wouldn't even mind if it could access my screen. Run a live log like Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. It's a bit hard if you can't call tools and look up the calendar itself, like Arc had a direct integration. I'm sure it's coming. I hope so. I really do hope it's coming. Lao Land, who are you? You're this is the first time here in the chat. Do I know you? Larinas. Should I know that name? What's your ID? Sorry, I really only recognize people by their their IDs. Oh, SquiggleConf. Hey, it's good to see you. How you been? Let's see. command custom skills, send a message, save as skill. Oh, okay. Summarize the meetings I have today and give me a TLDR for any coming up in the next 7 days. Okay, hang on. Wait, what? Oh gosh. Boop, boop. Okay. Okay. We'll do this again. Let's see if it actually gets... Okay. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to ask them to exclude, decompress, and travel blocks. All right, and we're going to include calendar. There we go. And let's see how it goes. 6 meetings, TLDR. Yep. Lovely. And now, how do I save that? Huh. There's a little button here. What? Okay, all right. Save a skill. Here we go. Okay, meetings. All right. Now, let's see. Let's close that. We're going to do meetings. And we do that. That works great. Wait, what? Wow, it didn't work at all. It looks like it went to the web because it couldn't directly access it, even though that was there. Interesting. Let's try one more time. Maybe it's being silly pants. Yeah. Just trying to run a skill that checks my calendar, my Google Calendar in an open tab for upcoming meetings. Let's try one more time. How am I doing? That's a good question. Processing my attachment. Okay, well, you know, it's a work in progress. It's cool. Let's try one more time. This time with the tab closed. Go. How am I doing? I'm living and loving from... Yeah, it doesn't work. Well, that's just not very useful. It's hard for me to think of things that I would automate that don't involve me being logged in to something. Whether it's content that I would want to review or, you know, like, what would I go? What would be useful that I would want public access to? You know, maybe I would like to see videos from the favorite people that I follow on Instagram, or I'd like to know what the most important emails are in my inbox. But if I can't turn those into skills, this little hack thing isn't very useful. I'm hoping this is just a bug and that it can be fixed, or it will be fixed. But for now, this seems like a power feature that's not even that powerful. Let's assume it does get fixed, so it can do that. That's great. If it could have a more visual interface and a more intuitive way of creating a skill, I wouldn't even call it a skill, I call it something like a routine, because that's what people are thinking. You know, I wake up and I brush my teeth. And, you know, like, you could create different routines for the different things you're doing. Like, there's the brushing your teeth routine, which plays videos from your friends and family while you brush your teeth. I do that. And I would absolutely love to have a button that I could push that would be like, oh, you're brushing. Okay, cool. You could do so many things with like a routines feature, but it's gonna have to have access to stuff you've logged into. And this doesn't seem to have that kind of access yet. Once it has that access, it's gonna be perfect. And if you can get that UI finessed, I think it's gonna be competitive. The thing to note about browsers, other Borg browsers like, Strawberry, is that they are designed for people doing business. Extract today's exciting AI launches and add to Notion. Like these are business uses, and this is what I get when I'm talking about building my little and building a social agent that kind of does some of these things for you, collects all of your relationshipy stuff, and gives you updates on how people are doing, and lets you navigate the web without looking at web pages. Just really directly connects you to content. I call it like the headless social network, because you're not visiting websites, you're just getting updates from people and different networks that you like. People keep saying, why would you do that? Nobody's going to pay for that. You're going to have to use ads, or you're going to have to come up with a payment solution. And you could just make stuff for business users, and then you'll get contracts and you'll get money in your pocket. And that's why you're seeing things like Strawberry going after business use cases, and Retriever, same. Dia is going after a regular person use case, and for that reason, I think it's going to have to start focusing on what real people are trying to do. Focus on the social, focus on the buying, etc., and make this whole automation interface, like, make that something that people who don't have a financial incentive to use it would want to use. Back when I was on a farm, I lived on a farm, and I remember learning that a tomcat would travel 200 miles to find a female cat in heat. And then later, actually, believe it or not, at the beginning of my career, I worked at an adult advertising company. It's a long story. I was not actually an advertiser. I was like building the portal sites and the banner ads. And it was really interesting because people will click on a lot of stuff to get to see, adult content. They have an incentive. People will put up with a lot of pain if there's something that gives them a dopamine hit on the other side of it. A video game, they'll grind for gold. Naughty content, they will click on a lot of pop-up ads they should not be clicking on. Making that next sale, they are going to figure out how to do your weird little hashtag blah blah blah. But consumers who are getting low dopamine hits from the work that they're doing, and it's not critical to a business path or money, which is the biggest dopamine hit of all for many people, you got to make it really frictionless for them. You can't expect them to spend any time researching or thinking or squinting. It just, it has to suggest, hey, this looks really useful to you. Would you like to make a routine out of it? So, this meeting summary thing would have been great after I'd first, put this through. If it had said, like a little pop-up down here being like, this looks super useful. Do you want to make this a routine? And then you'd be like, yeah, sure. And maybe down here, there's like something that follows you around. And this little routine set, little micro dash that you can pull up. I know, micro dashboard sounds terrible, right? Maybe it is. Maybe, I'm pretty sure that the designers at Dia can come up with a much better idea. Now, okay, because, they're smart people. Look at this beautiful experience that they've made. I'm being critical of it, but I'm being critical because I love you. No, I'm being critical because I want this to succeed, and I want these folks to succeed. And it can be hard. I used to draw comics for a living, and it can be really hard when you are making something and you're making it for a long time and you're not even sure if it's good anymore. You can't tell if it's funny. You can't tell if that arm is drawn right. You just you don't know what you're looking at. And so I'm being critical here, not because I'm the smartest and you're trash, because when I've been a creator, this feedback has helped me really punch through and make something excellent. And I know these people want to make something excellent. So I will pass this information on to them. And hopefully, I mean, they probably know all of this. So it'll either confirm some of the things that they are thinking, or, you know, help someone who's like, I think we should do this, be heard. Here we go. So I really do admire what they're doing here, and I really want them to succeed. I don't like this chat side thing. I hate it. I hate how everything is a freaking chat bar, and it's a sidebar, and it's just another piece of Chrome. It should disappear. And it's so bulky to have these conversations. I feel like I'm opening up a console every time I'm doing it. I've seen this a lot. Everybody's like, let's just stick chat on something. I don't think the future is sticking chat on things. I don't know why I'm turning on and off and I can't edit this. You know, the personalization, it should be editable from this. It should be editable from here because I've had that problem already. Okay, and so there's the option of floating. I'm going to turn on floating. Okay, that's better. I like this a little better. It takes up less space. It's less like, bah! Pardon me. That said, floating dashboards everywhere is also a bad pattern we don't want to get into. But considering that we gave up the left-hand sidebar for this, hey, Buffalo, Mishma, what brings you to the chat today? I think that this is, I think this is a little better. What I would do if I were building the UI from scratch is I would actually create something where if you leave your cursor on something long enough, a little something or other, yeah, you can actually like go, if you click this, it will take you to a folder of things to download for the URL. This is where I keep all my stuff. But have it so that if you hover, a little something pops up here that allows you to sort of grab, kind of, I thought there'd be a highlighting, like sort of like allows you to open up this extra, you know, you see it's up here, but up here is not where I look. I don't look up here, I look here. When I highlight something, there should be like a call to action right here. So that if I'm like, leave it to your bestie or personal agent, what's that? Okay, I'm gonna, and then it would pop up like here, just like this. And I'd be like, hey, are there other products like this out there now? And let's see if it can actually go do some search. Okay, it is doing some search. Yes, there's several apps that help you keep up with people you care about, but most use algorithms and ads, unlike Bestie. All right. Personal agent that helps you keep up with people in one spot, minus ads and algorithms. Oh, well, here's Bumble for friends, Befriend, Peanut. Oh, for moms. Interesting. Meetup and TLDR. These are terrible. These are terrible comparisons. I would have thought like Ping would have been on there. Beeper? That's Beeper. Okay. All right. Browsing, find some quality content. Well, hey, Buffalo, we're just evaluating Dia, the new browser from Arc. Well, they call it a browser. Like, they're like, it's not a browser. It is a browser. It's a Borg browser. They made a browser. It's Chrome with a chat, with chat on it. Yeah. And you can really see that when you add it to the sidebar. And this isn't really what I was hoping for. Yeah, so Lalo says, I wouldn't mind the chat bar if I could fully move it around. Sometimes I want it at the bottom. Sometimes I want it at the side. I feel that. I feel that too. I think it's hard with UI because where does it go? When I say this is still a browser, what I mean is when I'm building Bestie, I'm thinking of building something using, like, have you heard of MCP UI? MCP UI. Really cool. I've been watching all the MCP Summit videos while like catching up on my mending. Yes, I had to add belt loops to my pants because I'm getting too thin to wear them and I need to cinch them in. So I added belt loops to my pants yesterday watching all of them. Anyway, MCP server. So is this it? I don't feel like it might be, but it's MCP-UI. Here we go. This is it. Ito Sol. This is the guy. All right, here we go. This is the thing. This is what I wanted to share. Okay, MCP client and server SDKs efficiently build interactive UI for model context protocol applications. So what this does, they need a video. They need a gosh darn video, you guys. This is not a link. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Apparently I need to go make some pull requests after this. Anyway, what I love about this is we've talked a little bit about in the past ambient UX, where the user experience adapts depending on your state and the context that it's being invoked in. You know, like similar to how like your system settings, dark mode turns on at night. That's a form of ambient UX. Well, when it comes to using agents, personal agents like Goose. Goose is an open source personal agent. I love it. Highly recommend. This is Goose. I used to raise geese, so I'm partial, but also like huge fan of Angie Jones. Angie Jones. I mean, with a name like that, come on, you just gotta pay attention. So, and look at this. Look at this gorgeous icon. I love it. Anyway, I like using Goose, personal agent. I hooked it up to Claude, my own version of Claude, and think about it. Imagine if I said something like, get me videos of cats. Now, personal agent, like, it does some search. It's using one of its tools here. And what it's going to give me is not going to be a carousel. Yeah, like, look at this. It's, just give me some videos, 3 videos to watch. Just give me like 3 videos. That's all. Come on. Stop overthinking it, you LLM, you. Thank you. And it's going to give me links. That's the best it's going to do. What MCP UI is trying to do is create a way for this agent here to actually, yeah, see, like here, it's all text. It's boring. I have to open it in a browser. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, it's not exactly what I wanted to watch, but I'll take it. So imagine if you could use MCP UI, and this would basically allow the agent to query what is essentially a design system full of components, a UI kit, and start, you know, like would actually show these as a carousel in here. My friends, this is the future, not just of browsing the internet, but of your operating system. This is why when I give my talk about how the browser is dying at front-end conferences, people are always slightly horrified because I'm like, well, you're not going to be building websites in 5 or 10 years. You're going to be building UI kits for people to use with their personal agents. And people are like, what? Oh my God, no. Oh, that sounds terrible. But I'm telling you, the likelihood of this being a future we live in is high, very high, extremely high, especially as on-device LLMs become more common. And they're very powerful as it is. And if you combine, like a lot of what we use LLMs to do right now can be done faster and cheaper with dumber algorithms and programmatic approaches. The actual LLM end of thing is not necessary for doing a lot of things we do with agents. So I suspect agents running is going to become cheaper, the devices are going to become smarter, and the methodologies are going to become more common. So when I think of a browser, something that allows us to access the content of the internet that's browser-like but not a browser, I'm not thinking of a skinned browser with a chat box. I'm not. I'm thinking of something like Goose over here, but with a cleaned up UI. More intuitive. Not relying on chat, but intuiting what I might like. Would you like to see some pictures of some cats? You know, like getting you started. Then you connect your email. It goes through your email and it's like, hey, I see this person has a lot of conversations about crafting supplies. I'm going to show them some cool crafting blogs and videos and things. Maybe suggest stuff to them. Like, you won't actually visit the web the way you used to. Your personal assistant's going to bring the web to you. And it's going to change how we make content. It's going to change how we connect to people. and it's going to utterly crater the advertising industry. So yeah, this has been me talking about the future. What do we need to make Dia even more complete? I see Dia in its current form as being a halfway step. Strawberry and Retriever, same thing. They're handy. I think Strawberry and Retriever, these kinds of automation tools, are likely going to be more long-lived than, oh, that needs some help. I'm not going to go make a pull request on this, though. They are funded. They can do it themselves. They have recurring revenue. But the thing is that these will probably stick around longer because people will have to use websites for a long time. Every government service isn't going to have an MCP server. There's still a lot that needs to be worked out in terms of safety, privacy, etc. And we still haven't built like the one agent to rule them all. I'm pretty sure that Apple and Google are going to create the Agent OS. They're probably a little early to the game because these things are very expensive. They run very hot. But there will still be people in countries where they haven't got the new chipsets, where they're still using websites. It's going to be websites are an accessibility feature because they make things, you have to publish the content on a website because not everybody has an agent. They still need a source of truth. That's the future. Yeah. And so I think these kind of business designed browsers are going to be more long-lived than the everyday browser. So if you're going to build something for everyone that's a browser but not a browser, you're going to have to make some pretty big swings. That's my opinion, though. That's what I build seeing, and I realize that Dia is making its own bets. And you know what? Maybe it's going to make the right bets. I suggested a couple of things about how this interface could be done to be a little bit more intuitive for the everyman, and it's possible that an interface like that could survive for a very long time, like maybe 5 years. It could be the next thing. And we know that Chrome's not making anything like this right now. We have no indication from Google that they are building, investing in making Chrome the browser of the future, especially not with the FTC threatening to make them sell Chrome off to another company. I think it'd be far more likely for Google to develop something of its own that's not a browser. But at the same time, I'd be surprised. It's really hard to get ships that big to pivot, which is something that the browser company has in its favor. I got a question in here from Buffalo. What about the applications that run in the browser? Great question. A lot of applications do run in the browser. People have used the browser to build mini apps. We're going to use those. Like I just said, for 5 to 10 years, those are going to be fallbacks. But each of those companies that's built an application is probably also building an MCP server right now. If it's got an API, they're building an MCP server with it, which means that agents will be able to operate the applications. I always use the pizza buying test. Like the majority of apps on the web are just for placing orders. So what would happen if instead of going to, we'll go to Popflex. I like Popflex, it's woman owned. So instead of going to Popflex and browsing on all of this, what I would end up doing would be instead saying, like, I need black yoga pants. What should I get? And it would, size XL. It would have all my measurements and stuff already. So it could just plow through each of these. Now, instead of going to each page, what would happen is this site here will publish a manifest that will list out all of its products, all of their sizes, all of their colors, etc. And then instead of getting this ridiculous, sad stream of stuff, what will happen instead is we're going to get actual UI. I'll never have to visit this website. I'll just have a UI, and I'll select things, and I'll buy them there. And you know what? This is great, because if I'm blind, I can have a completely audio UI that will, go out and evaluate each of the colors for me. And even if they didn't list the color, it'll be able to say whether or not the pants in this picture are black and list them. So it's an adaptive interface. It's not going to be text. And this is okay, but I got to be honest, this shopping experience is not dopamine inducing the way this one is. And so for now, websites are going to remain competitive until we have that inline UI experience, in which case it'll be a lot easier for people. People probably find it a little easier to get to what they need to do. So I expect ordering pizzas, ordering yoga pants, those are going to be the first things to go, because people don't want to download the Domino's app. They don't necessarily need to visit the Alo Yoga site and then filter based on color and size and These are things that could be even smoother and more fun. And okay, so maybe you're thinking, well, what about filing my taxes online? Yeah, that's probably going to be the last one to go. But what will happen is, as the consumer market gets gobbled up by these agents, big companies, etc., will be like, oh, we got to get in on this. That's why I say that MCP is the new SEO. We got to make our stuff available to agents too. And eventually people's agents will start nibbling away at the edges. It's only a matter of time before, your agent pops up one morning and is like, hey, I noticed the IRS had a MCP server and I went ahead and got your tax forms started. Did you want to have a look? I don't have access to all of your financial information, but I filled out like your name and address. And, I noticed you have a farm. So I also think you should take a look at these particular write-offs. That's a feature that's coming. Let's see. Buffalo says, that sounds feasible for small apps, but I can't imagine rewriting monster applications with decades of legacy code. Core business systems still run on technology built in the 70s or 80s, like COBOL. Maybe AI agents will run in parallel to classic browser apps. Well, browser apps ain't written in COBOL. I think it's more likely that those COBOL systems will just have API endpoints that are wrapped into MCP servers. The things that are servicing the browsers are very easy to wrap in MCP servers and make available to agents. And then it's just a matter of giving agents the skill set necessary to do the things that you were doing in the browser. And there's you can hit record on interactions and then replay them over and over. I really say, for those complicated apps, you should take a look at Retriever and Strawberry and what they're doing with automation. It's kind of an example of how you can use AI on top of a browser, but the agentic modality is probably going to just leapfrog as soon as there's an MCP server to accommodate those APIs that the browser app is already using. You'll be able to access it through something like Goose. I mean, we've created many layers of cruft just to be visible on the web, and you can create another connector for agents, and so there will be a parallel and growing agentic user base. I suspect young people will start using agents more regularly than older people. This is kind of like our terminal window or our IRC. And as soon as there's a consumer grade, fully agentic or, personalized, I hate using the word agent, but because agent and what we're going to get, they're two different things. I don't think that you need nearly as much as what Goose has to give the example that I'm giving. But basically, you turn the web into one big API endpoint, and you get a UI generator that's just a little bit smart, and boom, you never have to visit another website or be tracked again. So what do website developers do? Well, it's not worth it to host all that content all the time, so when they add new features, they just kind of make API endpoints for them. Eventually, you'll see the splitting, where different things are available to this view than this view. And that's how you know the time to switch over's come. All right, this has been fun. It's been fun poking around. I need to go walk. My back is hurting, and according to according to our things here, I've got an interview later today, so I better go do that. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for the great questions. As always, these are my opinions. My opinions are not Not 100% right. I am not a prophet, but I do tend to be right a lot. I've been here 20 years. I've seen a lot, and so some of this probably come true. Some of it won't. Do with that what you will. But I'm encouraging you that we are builders. We are building the future. We don't know exactly what form it's going to take, but I encourage you to think about it with excitement rather than fear or dread, and ask yourself, how can we build a future in a shape that we like? Think about the things that we wanted to do with the web, micropayments, peer-to-peer payments, creative freedom. Think about what it was that brought us here in the first place, and how we might continue to build on those principles as we move forward. Don't let other people build your future for you.